Social media is messing with our minds. Let's watch what's happening and how to deal with it.
Here's how scrolling on your phone all day can affect your brain. When you stare at a screen all day, it doesn't just tire your eyes out. It also messes with the chemicals in your brain that controls focus and mood. Every time you scroll, click, or swipe, your brain releases a small burst of dopamine, which is the feel-good chemical that rewards you for things that feel satisfying. The problem is the constant stream of notifications, videos, and updates floods your brain with dopamine over and over again. This makes your brain crave quick, easy rewards, and over time, it becomes harder to focus on slower, more demanding tasks like reading or problem solving because they don't give you the same instant payoff. Meanwhile, social media can also mess with another hormone, oxytocin, which is tied to feeling connected with others. Instead of boosting oxytocin like real-life social interactions do, scrolling through pictures of other people's perfect lives can leave you feeling anxious, lonely, or not good enough. The more time you spend comparing yourself to others online, the worse your mood can get. At the same time, all that screen use overstimulates your brain and wears it out, leading to mental fatigue. This happens because your brain's reward system gets out of balance. Studies have shown that too much dopamine from screens can make real-life experiences like spending time with friends or finishing a challenging project feel less satisfying, leaving you restless and emotionally drained. So, to keep your brain healthy, make sure that you spend time doing offline activities that naturally boost oxytocin, like exercising or hanging out with friends, and give your brain a chance to reset. You'll feel more focused, less stressed, and more connected to the world around you.
I'm a brainwashing expert, and I am personally terrified of short form social media like that. And I'm not immune. And I'm one of the best in the world, and I am not immune to it. And I think that should be a stark warning for a lot of people.
What's the cost, though? What's the cost of the life, in your view, of living this kind of life where, we go home and we just burn our brains out with these social media apps and fry our dopamine receptors? Is there a cost?
Yeah, I think the cost is increased loneliness. And these apps, any app that sells ads has two main goals. Number one, and all advertising shares these two main goals. Number one, make you compare yourself to other people in unhealthy ways. Number two, make you think, I am not enough. And we see that everywhere. I'm not enough, and I'm comparing myself to other people. And it gets us into an us versus them. Then it traps you into a corner of confirmation bias. Whatever you think, I'm going to show you this group of 150 people that agree with you. No matter how stupid, how radical, how absolutely bizarre your ideas are. Let me show you all of these people. And then you start thinking the whole world's like that. So really quickly, what happens when we conglomerate people together? I've only been in New York once in my life, but we're in New York right now. Looking at my hotel, I was struggling to find a piece of nature. I think I have more trees on my property than there are in the whole city here. So on the whole, when you squeeze people together, have you heard of the bystander effect? So there's a very good experiment that was led by Dr. Philip Zimbardo that they did at Liverpool Street Station.
In London?
In London, yeah.
Okay.
So right at Liverpool Street, there's a video on YouTube, and it's fair use if you want to overlay an image of what this looks like. But at Liverpool Street Station, there's 3 or 4 steps to get up to the main. So from the street, there's a curb, and then there's 3 or 4 steps. They had this woman laid out on the ground wearing a normal skirt and top, and I think 395 people either walked by her or stepped over her. And then they did it with a guy. And then they did it with a guy, he's holding a beer and he's asking for help. And it changed all these variables. But it's happened in New York City before. There's a woman named Kitty Genovese in the 60s, I think just 2 blocks from here, who was stabbed to death in front of 55 witnesses. Don't quote me on that number. And no one called the police until much, much later, mostly because everyone thought somebody else would act. But if I described to you saying I watched a person get stabbed and 3 people just watched and they watched it happen, would you say that that's psychopathy? That's a psychopath.
Yeah.
So these large cities and stuff, and the apps that are messing with the social part of our brain that makes us think the tribe is way bigger than our brains are made to handle, causes this almost psychopathic behavior.
What happened to the normal standards? Since when did everybody start expecting perfection at 20 years old? Social media has completely destroyed people's sense of reality. Now a guy in his 20s is expected to make 10 grand a month, drive a nice car, dress in designer, pay for absolutely everything, have a perfect lifestyle, and on top of that, somehow be emotionally perfect. while still being at university, still learning and studying, still building his life from absolute zero. When did all that become normal? Your parents did not expect that from each other. Your grandparents didn't expect that. People used to grow together. They used to start small and build something real over time. Nobody expected a 22-year-old man to be financially established. He wasn't even done studying. And here's the crazy part. These standards don't come from real life. They're coming from edits, TikTok reels, and Instagrams, from a highlight of the top 1% of the world pretending to be the average. So if you're a guy and you feel pressured by that, breathe. Don't let the internet make you feel behind. You're not supposed to be that rich at 20. I mean, if you are, that's great. But you're supposed to be learning, growing, falling, trying, and improving, and in the end, building. If you want to use the pressure as motivation, that is absolutely great. Let it push your sail, but not sink your ship. Let it fuel your ambition that you've got, but not destroy your peace, because the moment you start building out of insecurity, you'll build the wrong life. You'll chase milestones that aren't yours, and the moment you get them, they won't make you happy, because they were never your goals in the first place. So do it for your own purpose, for your future, for the life that you want, not for the expectations of people who don't even know you. So don't let social media create your standards. Let your values do that. Everything will come once the work is real.
What's social media doing to our brain?
There's a book I love called Thrilled to Death. It's continually pressing on your nucleus accumbens that produces dopamine, continually pressing on the pleasure centers in your brain. But the problem with that is the more you press on them, they begin to become numb. And you need more and more excitement, more and more stimulation in order to feel anything at all.
I think that if you're consuming, you're going to experience things from this list. The first thing is my attention started to really become fragmented. And this short form content where you are constantly seeing new information is just training your mind to be distracted. Second, my memory started to decrease because we are flooding our working memory with all this new information that you can't actually form new memories. And this really stops your ability to think and synthesize new information because your ability to focus on things decreases. And then you will become less creative because creativity involves combining concepts together. So if you can't learn new information or hold two pieces of information together to be able to connect them and create something new, then you are going to be less creative. And then, of course, dopamine dysregulation. When you are getting these quick hits of instant gratification, your ability to do deep work and focus just becomes so much harder. It becomes nearly impossible. And then to top this all off, you're watching highly polished, edited versions of people's lives. And polished, put together and figured out, is the exact opposite of grad school, even on a good day.
But one of the issues with social media, that's been pointed out by many people, is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like they have a much better life than they really do.
Right.
So
by design.
Yeah, people are posting pictures of when they're really happy. They're modifying those pictures to be better looking. So if you look at everyone on Instagram, you might think, man, there are all these happy, beautiful people, and I'm not that good looking and I'm not happy. So I must suck, and that's going to make people sad. So when in fact, some of the happiest seeming people, actually some of the saddest people in reality. And nobody looks good all the time. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, buckle up for this because I'm about to really paint a picture on how doom scrolling is destroying our well-being. So think about it. When you doom scrolling, you're seeing all different kinds of videos. You're seeing funny videos, sad videos, you're seeing gossip videos, depending on what it is your For You page is filled with. But ultimately, you're seeing a whole bunch of different videos. And with each video has to invoke some type of emotion in you in order for you to engage. So for example, if I see a video that's meant to make me laugh and I find it funny, I'ma laugh. If I scroll again, I see a video that's meant to make me feel motivated, I watch it, now I'm motivated. And here's the tricky part. A lot of videos are meant for us to empathize with the creator. A lot of people get on social media mad, angry, bitter, sad, feeling all kinds of stuff. So whatever it is they feeling, if you relate to it, now you're processing what it is that they're feeling. And this is why the news pushes negativity, because not only does negativity sells, it sticks. So when we really see something that makes us feel a kind of way and we're opposed to it, we tend to stick with it longer than what we should. This is why when we having a good day, a whole bunch of things going good, one inconvenience happen and it throws off the whole day. It's because our brains are wired to focus on the negative. And this is what tripped me out, bro. Imagine you scrolling. You going through all kind of different videos. You see a funny video, you see a motivational video, you see a video that make you mad because you see somebody else went through this. Now you see another video that makes you sad. You see another video of puppies and cats and you just like, aw. You feeling all of these different emotions as you're scrolling. One video after another, after another, after another. And when it comes time for us to process our own emotions, we don't know how, because we spend most of our time not only inheriting other people's emotions, but processing theirs as well. And it gets even scarier than this. Take the phone out of the equation. Take scrolling out of the equation. Imagine all the emotions that you're feeling from an hour of doom scrolling, 2 hours of doom scrolling, however long you go. Imagine the up and down of emotions you're going through while you're scrolling. If you was to see somebody go through those many emotions as much as we did when we was doom scrolling, but you see that no phone is present, you would think that person was insane. Wait, they're happy, now they're sad, now they're motivated, now they're angry, now they're frustrated, going from one emotion to another, then another one to another. You would think that that person is crazy. Why are they feeling all of these emotions within a span of an hour?
Let's look at some solutions to this.
Every time you're engaging in short form, effortless content that gives you this dopamine spike, you are going to lose motivation to do long-term things because your brain is going to release more dopamine when it can achieve something quickly, this instant gratification. So you really want to achieve long-term goals is to have a stable dopamine level. And you want to start associating achievement with effort. But I'm making more videos about concepts like dopamine loading and how you can actually set up your day to optimize your dopamine to achieve these long goals, increase your attention, your focus, and your memory.
10 things you can do instead of being on your phone. I am averaging 7 hours screen time right now. It's embarrassing. My excuse is that I post on TikTok and I need to edit, but it's still embarrassing, so we're gonna change that. Of course, we have the basics. Read a book, stretch or work out, go for a walk in nature. But if you find yourself like doom scrolling a lot because you don't have an idea of what else you could do, I'm gonna also include a bunch of ideas that you can like pick up as a new hobby. You could start visiting local museums or galleries. I live in Berlin and we have a lot of free museums, for example. You could start getting into baking or cooking, like actually take time to make a recipe you have saved on one of your social medias, because I know you have one. If you have a lot of time on your hands, you could start volunteering locally somewhere. You could go to an animal shelter or you can volunteer at a senior home. DIY projects. I've been seeing so many videos of like light catchers or just pretty stuff with beads or like sketching, painting, all of these things. Next idea, you could host something like a dinner night, a game night, and to make it an even bigger activity, you can really put a lot of effort into it and like have a lot of thought go into it and like decorate everything, and that will also give your friends time off their phones and you can all socialize and it's just a great time. You could write a letter to a friend and send it to them. I bet no one will complain about that, but everybody will be so surprised. If a friend would send me a letter, I'd be like, oh, how nice. You could start learning a new language. You could, for example, also start learning basic sign language. You can declutter your room. Like my closet always needs decluttering. But I have the time. I can see it on my screen time. I have lost count of how many things I told you, so I'm sorry if this is not 10. I'm sorry if this is more than 10. I hope this inspired you in any way, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye!